Hello everyone, and welcome to another redstone video. Today's video is about a super smelter, a new one that I've designed. It's much quieter than the last one I designed, because the last one used pistons to push the furnaces around in a circle. This one's going to be much easier to build, and much faster. And also because of the way it's built, it's very easy to scale it. You can make it as big or as small as you want. So the way this one works is there's a chest minecart on top that you put all your items you want to smelt in, like your iron or your ancient debris, because you're going to have a stack of ancient debris, right? you put your gold ore in here, and then when you want to send it off, you pull the lever and it fills up all the furnaces. It puts one item exactly into each furnace. Every time it goes around, it puts another item in. This specific design has 64 furnaces, so it'll smelt 64 times faster than a normal furnace will. When you want it to stop, you just pull that lever back, and when the minecart comes back and passes by, it'll stop right there on the unpowered minecart tracks. And there was only 3 stacks of items in there, so it only took 3 times going around to empty all of its items. Now this chest down here, this is the chest that you'll be putting the fuel into. Now I suggest that you put wood slabs in here, and I suggest you use a type of wood that's easy to get lots of, something like spruce slabs or jungle slabs, because you can get the giant variants of those trees, so that's easy to get lots of that type of wood. So when you have all your slabs, you just chuck them in this minecart chest just here, and then you pull this lower lever right here, and then that will send that minecart off. And it'll keep going around, emptying one slab into each furnace as it goes around. And if you come back here, you can see when the furnace fills up with slabs, it starts filling up these hoppers. So there's even a bit of a bank system where it builds up when you're not using it too much. And all the items that get smelted get pulled out by the hoppers that are underneath the furnaces, and they get pulled into this chest. Okay, and now for comparison, I've got a normal furnace here, and we'll see how much faster this super smelter will smelt a stack of iron compared to a normal furnace. So it goes all around. It's actually quite satisfying the way it fills up all the furnaces as it goes around. Okay, well it's definitely emptied out now, because once it's then gone around, it'll empty a stack, and I only put a stack in there. So that's only on 2 iron smelted now. This thing's already up to 39, 34, almost a whole stack already. And there we go. That's the whole stack smelted, and this thing's only up to 4. So it's really fast. It's ridiculously fast compared to a normal furnace. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the building part of the video. So if you want to know how to build it, stay watching. If you don't really care about how to build it, then you can stop watching the video now. Okay, so a funny thing with this design is that it actually doesn't take that many items. All these items in my inventory, they're all the items it's going to take. It's going to take multiple stacks of some of them, but yeah, it doesn't actually take too big of a variety of items. So no matter how big it's going to be, it's not going to use any items other than what I've got in my inventory. Well, I mean, other than, yeah, I forgot the minecart chest, but that's it. So these are all the items. Okay, now I'm going to build a smaller version. I'm not going to build one quite as big as this one here. So when you start building it, you're going to place a double chest first. That's how you're going to start. And you're going to place 2 hoppers on either side of that, facing into this chest, so that they'll fill this chest. And then you're going to place 2 hoppers on top of them, on either side, at the edge, so it will look like this. And now, depending on how big you want your smelter, how fast you want it to smelt, is how far you're going to go out with these hoppers. So let's just go out this far, and then we'll just go some random amount of hoppers in this direction, and some random amount of hoppers in this direction as well. It doesn't really matter what shape this thing is, as long as it's some sort of rectangle or square. It should work just fine. And then you want to start over here and basically mirror what you did on that side. You don't have to mirror it exactly. It'll look nicer if you mirror it though. You just got to make sure that these connect up, but you want to make sure that the hoppers are facing in the other direction. That helps the iron and the other stuff that you smelt, it helps it go into the chest faster if you have two sides. And then once you have that, now you go along and you place the furnaces. So in survival, it's kind of hard to place stuff on hoppers, because like if you right click it, it does that, so you got to shift. But if you want to make sure it's facing the right way, you've got to kind of angle your view, just like kind of so you're standing on this hopper, but you're facing towards this back corner, and then it faces it right. And then once you've placed that, then you can just stand on them like this, and go around like that. And then once you've done that, you can go ahead and place hoppers on this back edge. You can stand up here and place them on the furnaces like this, or you can stand on the ground and place them like this. This is probably easier if you've got a nice open space around where you're building. Oh, okay, so now I made a mistake here. You don't need two hoppers facing into the same furnace. So what you do is you just break one of the ones on the corner, so that there's only one hopper going into a furnace. I probably did the same thing here, yeah. So I'll try and keep it symmetrical. I'll break the one there. And then once you've done that row of hoppers around the furnaces, then you can go and place the ones on top. Probably the easiest way to do this is just to stand on them, shifting, and just placing them as you go along from standing on top. And once you've done that, now you can start putting this whole system in here that sends off the minecarts and stuff. So what you've got to do, you've got to place a block there, on these hoppers, and then you place a temporary block here. You place 2 blocks here, like that, and then you break that one that was just there. And then you come around the back here, you place a temporary block there, a block underneath it, and then you break that one. You place another temporary block, you place a block under that, and then you break that one. You place another one there. Okay, and now you basically mirror that on the other side. So like that. It kind of makes a nice pattern. And now you want to place a lever, so just place it like there, and it should be fine. Now you got to make sure you don't place a lever on this block, because if you place a lever on this block, when you pull it down, it'll stop this hopper from putting items into this furnace. So you can't put a lever there. Now what you want to do is you want to place power rails right here and there. And then you've got to place normal rails on the blocks either side of them. And now what you want to do is you want to get some blocks and place them in these corners so that the tracks will be able to go on them. And again, you've got to crouch while doing it so you don't open the furnaces or the hoppers. And now once you've done that, you can start placing your power rails and normal rails along these furnaces. So I suggest just using as many power rails as you can afford, except for in the corners, because you have to have normal tracks in the corners. Power rails can't turn corners, they can only go straight. And then once you've done that row, then you can move on to this top row, and basically the same thing. Use as many power rails as you can, normal minecart rails in the corners. And now we go on to supplying a redstone signal to these powered rails. So the easiest way to do it is just to place a block about here, and then place a lever on it, and that powers this row and this row. Then you just do the same on the other side. And on this side you can do the same. And you just do that on every side that has unpowered rails. Now on these longer strips, like if it's a really long strip, if you place a block right at the edge, the power might not reach all the way to the end. Yes, you see in this case, hasn't reached all the way to the end. So what you could do is, you could move this one in the middle like that. Or if it's a really long track, you can just place multiple of these along just to make sure it's all powered. And then once that's done, all that's left to do is to place your minecart chests. Now, the only unfortunate thing is the way this is designed, this top minecart is a little bit hard to reach. You've got to aim really precisely to get it. So something you could do is just have some blocks around it like this to stand on to make it easier to reach. Okay, and now it's finished. Now you can't just start smelting stuff straight away because just remember these don't have any fuel in them. So at this point, what you want to do is grab the fuel that you're going to be using. And you really don't want to put lots of different types of fuels into this. You want to be using just one type of fuel to smelt. So I'm going to grab just a bunch of spruce slabs and chuck them in this chest. You got to put it in the bottom one, that's the fuel one. You could place a sign just here telling you, you know, like which chest it does which thing. And then once you've got all your fuel in there, you send it off and it'll just fill up all those furnaces. Every time it passes it'll fill it up once, as you saw back there on the big design. So now you can start smelting. Okay, so I just counted all the furnaces. This thing has 32 furnaces. So I accidentally made it exactly half the furnaces that are in that. So this will smelt half a stack every time it goes around. So this will smelt 32 times faster than a normal furnace. And it's quite a lot smaller than this one. And remember, that's not even the biggest design, you could make this thing way bigger. But anyway, that's the end of the video. I'll see you in another video, whether it's a redstone video, or who knows, maybe I'll make some other type of video. Bye!